Joining us in studio right now is Diane Knight, who's the chairperson from the National Review Board. And welcome, Diane. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Diane, perhaps you can tell us a bit about what the National Review Board does.
Sure. I'd be happy to. Well, the National Review Board was created by the Dallas Charter as one of the components of the Charter. It's created as a body that's meant to be consultative to the Bishop's Committee for the Protection of Children and Young People, to work collaboratively with that committee, particularly in the development of policy and best practices with regard to implementation of the Charter.
So the Dallas Charter,
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, as you may recall, back in 2002, when the crisis of sexual abuse in the church came to kind of a peak in terms of the media coverage of it, the bishops at their June meeting created the Charter as their response and their pledge to protect children and young people from that point forward, as well as to acknowledge the mistakes of the past.
So now what will your role be at this meeting?
Well, I'm here, we generally meet in connection with the bishops' meetings and have a joint meeting with the Bishops' Committee for the Protection of Children and Young People. And we've had that meeting, but also at this particular meeting there will be the presentation of the preliminary report of the Causes and Context study commissioned with the John Jay College of Criminal Justice to study in depth how and why it was that this crisis occurred, so that we can fully understand it, and because we understand it, we can take all the steps necessary to prevent this from happening ever again.
And it's important to go back to be able to understand the reasons and how something like this could have happened.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is a landmark study. Landmark in part just because of the size and scope of it. In reading research about this or any other topic, I think most of the time you see a relatively small size of sample and data. One of the things that makes this study so significant is that it's drawing data from all 195 dioceses in the country about all of the reported situations, allegations, those substantiated, the offenders, the victims, and trying to bring all of that data together in a way that can be understood and analyzed, and that can help us, again, from understanding to develop what we need to develop so that we can prevent this from ever happening again.
Now, I had a little chance to take a peek at some of this information, and I don't want to give anything away, but it really is good news as time has gone on. And I mean, incredibly good news as time has gone on.
I think so. I think so. One of the most important pieces of this is that it simply is the fact that there's no evidence to suggest that beyond this large peak of cases that occurred between about 1960 and about 1985, there's no evidence to suggest that any of that has continued. Does it mean there will never be another case? No, there's no way to ever prevent this in society or in the church. There will always be people who are bent on harming children, people who are sexually attracted to children. But what it does tell us is that there is no evidence to suggest that this large peak has continued or will continue at any point in the future.
I think much of that is due to the education that's gone on. I know in our diocese we've done so much to have all of our people aware, go through programs and background checks and so on.
I think that's another thing we should be proud of without patting ourselves on the back too much. The safe environment efforts that we've undertaken as a church are probably unparalleled in terms of scope, how many people we've trained, the fact that we have decided that we're going to offer this and provide it for everyone who needs it. And by the way, I think one of the things that's really important about this is it helps people to be protected, not just within the church, but in society. This information is good to have within families, within neighborhoods, within the broader community.
Of course, yeah.
And there are other institutions who are coming to us now and wondering how it is that we've done this and wanting some assistance so that they can do the same.
It's a great thing. Well, Diane, I want to thank you for coming by here to shed some light on that. And if you want some more information at home, if you go to usccb.org, you can get some more information right off the USCCB website as well, right, Diane?
Great.
Thank you for the great work you're doing, too, for the life of the church.
Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you with us.